Hey pals, or should I say middle-aged gamers, welcome back. Hint, hint, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Lots of stories going on. Antoine's going to lead us off today talking about Palworld and how it has overtaken the gaming, whatever that English word is.
Sphere?
For sphere? Gaming sphere or gaming zeitgeist. That's the word I was looking for. Because as we were preparing for the show, as I was preparing for the show, and Antoine and I were talking about this, was just Google Trends, YouTube searches, content, not really content gaps, I should say, but everywhere and anything was all about Palworld, Pokemon. We'll also talk about that as well. But Antoine, you've actually played this. Adam's just played this, so that means I've got to play this as well. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so, and just to remind everyone that we had some notes because we already did some videos about Palworld way back last year. And yes, as you said, Palworld is it's overtaking everything. So just to give you the basics, if you don't, because Palworld is not Pokemon. It's not. Otherwise, of course, Nintendo would have sued them, and it would be over already. Palworld is way more. If you played like Ark Survival, it's way more like this. So it's a survival game where you craft, where you can die from hunger, from the elements. You know, when you start the game, in the first nights, you're cold. You can die of cold, right? Straight away, it puts you in the fact that it's a survival game. Yes, the monsters are cute, but you're not in Pokemon. You're not there just to collect them and all. And apart from the fact that monsters are cute, you know, the similarities end there. So let's start with the fact that it's like Ark, but way easier for first-time gamers of this type of game. Simply because there's a lot of, how can you say, it's very easy to get into. You take Ark, take a Sunken World, basically it's a sandbox, you just dropped into the world and go ahead, you know, like a starter hitting trees with your fist, and if you die, and you restart. Palworld, you start the same, you know, you create your character, you start in the world, but there's a very well-made tutorial, which is like quests that you would see on World of Warcraft, or it's a very basic system, but it's very easy to guide you through. So that's the first part. Sorry, there's so much to talk about that I'm trying to organize my ideas, otherwise I'm just gonna divert and it's finished. So guys, if you want to talk about one thing in particular, put me in. We can go ahead with this. I will talk about the fact that in Pokemon you have to. The point is to collect all the monsters, right? And if you have one, it's ground, and you send it to your PC, and you never see it ever again. Here, absolutely not. From the first steps in the game, the first thing you have to do is create a basic work table and craft the Palsphere, so the equivalent of the Pokeballs, right? And as much as you can, and capture as many of the monsters as you can, because if you capture a lot of the same monsters, it gives you bonuses. So you do need to have at least 10 of the same monsters to get the max bonus. Apart from that, you start the game. It's exactly the same as the rest. You get your craft table. You first get your axe for the wood. You get your pickaxe for the rocks. You get your wooden stick or your spear to fight monsters. I'm in the very beginning of the game, right? I play with my son for about a couple of hours, so I say beginning of the tutorial. From what I see at this moment, when you capture a Pokemon, you can have it to fight with you, of course, and he has one ability. So one little cute elephant heal me, which is very useful, or the others will attack. My first tips, in the beginning of the game at least, never ever have your Pokemon to fight with you, because they are one-minded. You start attacking a monster you want to capture, the animal over there is gonna kill it. because it's the same principle as Pokemon, right? You have to weaken it as much as you can, throw your ball, and if it's very weak, it's going to be much easier to capture. But of course, it's very weak, it's very close to dying, and don't worry, your monster is going to kill it always at the wrong moment. And as I said, it's kind of a pain to craft the Palsphere, and you don't want to waste them, especially at the beginning. So that's the first thing. After, the second thing, and for me, which is the most important in the beginning of the game, is to create a base and develop it very quickly. To create a base is quite easy, and in the style of Valheim, create your first house. It's easy. You know the blocks, the foundations, the walls, they really clip into each other quite easy. Apart from the roof, I have some issues with the roof, but I must be doing something wrong. And then you need to upgrade your base. In the tutorial, I need to upgrade to level 7. And it really shows you that it's an industry. It's a world of industry where it's a pain in take Ark or take anything, right? When you tame your dinosaur. So first of all, it's a pain to tame your dinosaur, depending on which one. And once you tame it, you need to make a saddle. Same system in Palworld. You can create saddle for your bigger Pokemon, of course. There's no saddle for your ship. And then that's it, right? It's going to defend your base, and that's it. In Palworld, you create your base, and level by level, you're going to create a ranch, you're going to create a plantation, to throw your seeds, and you're going to have farming, you're going to have a logging camp, a stone pit, and you assign you assign pals to your base. It's +1 pal per level of the base, so you can have 6, 7. At this time, I have 6, I think, in my base, and they will automatically go and collect resources for you. You don't have to collect resources. Your stuff do everything for you. Same for everything. If you want to build a chest, a bed, whatever, you just put the blueprint on the side or wherever you want, and you don't touch. Your monster is gonna build it for you. The only thing is that it's a survival game, so you're hungry, you need to feed yourself. Same for your monsters. You need to feed your monster or they die. So one of the first things is to have a feeder for your monster, and make sure that's tips number 2, because you can go and explore and everything and completely forget about your base. You come back, they're all starved and dead. Make sure that you have enough food in your feeder before you start doing anything. Because they're gonna, while you are off adventuring, your base is working in the background, right? So that's the cool thing. You can put some berries, say, in the fire, and one of your Pokemon, pal, I'm gonna keep doing this. One of your pal is gonna come and cook them. I know that it's weird to have a sheep cook berries over fire, but that's how it works, right? So they're gonna do everything for you. So again, as many pals as you can. Don't forget to feed them, build your base. And then once this is done, you have something very much automated. Yeah. It's very, very much automated. And then you can, of course, upgrade, get some clothes so you stop dying from cold at night, craft some bow, craft some arrows, and get stronger beasts, etc., etc., etc. Something which can surprise you, and let me tell you, I was very surprised. When I did my base, so 2 hours in, at the very beginning of the game, at night, randomly, you have red from monsters, which pops out around your base and come attack you. I can't remember if there was something like this in Ark, like of course dinosaur attacks you, but I don't remember if they really come for your base or not. Second Land is like this, you have some kind of mutated people attacking your base in particular. Here it's the same. You have some pals which gonna pop out. And the second night, it was some wolf level 7, easy to catch or to fend off. On the first night, it was some kind of giant, not Godzilla, but Dragonite, if you look at Pokemon, like some kind of Dragonite, level 30. He arrived, I died, my 5 Pokemon died, my son died, he erased everything. he killed us, but it actually didn't destroy the base itself. So maybe I was lucky, I don't know. But yes, so it's a survival game. It's craft. Have industry. You can teleport between your base. Overall, it's very complete, very fun. It's an early access, and don't forget about this. It's $30 on Steam. It's an early access, which means you have bugs. Especially, my understanding is that on dedicated server, you have bugs and crash. I played in online with. I didn't need a dedicated server to play with my son, and we have no problem with this. The only issue is that if it's not dedicated server, if I don't play and start my world, my son can't get inside, right? That's the only difference. But if you want to create a dedicated server, in the tutorial of the game, they show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. You know, you go on Steam, very likely you will need to tick the tool on your library. You know, you have your library. On top of the library and the list of games, you have a little drop-down menu with games, something, and tools. You have to click on tools because it will expand your list of game. And under Palworld, you will have Palworld dedicated server. That's why you need to go if you want to do a dedicated server for Palworld. You will have some kind of black DOS windows to show you that it indeed works. And that's my cue to stop.
Adam, give us your take.
I mean, I haven't played very long. I only played for like 2 minutes. I just wanted to see, can my computer handle it? Because I had very briefly done like a little practice rendering just thing. And my computer has this really bad habit of going all the way up to 100 CPU usage and then like jacking up the temperature, like almost doubling the temperature. So I was like, I wonder if it can run Palworld. Let's check it out. And ran perfectly smoothly. I could put it on the highest settings. Everything was running great. So yeah, I don't know. Vegas Pro, don't recommend if you're doing video rendering, because it will, I don't know. It's intensive for some strange reason. But yeah, I basically just got into the game, turned around. There was like a cliff face, and I was like, I wonder if I can climb this Breath of the Wild style. And you can, and I did. So yeah, it's been getting a lot of, or it's been causing a lot of discourse on plagiarism. People are saying they're stealing designs, like not even just taking inspiration from Pokemon, but actually going into some of the old Pokemon games and stealing the frames and then just making tweaks to those old frames as opposed to creating pals from scratch, which some of them do look very similar, I will admit. I don't know if it really counts in all cases. I do think some people are probably going a little overboard with the plagiarism claims because they are relatively different. But I do kind of wish that they would be a little more inspired. It does kind of like, I don't know. For me, I'm kind of like seeing, I don't know what happened there.
Debate about it.
All right.
Go ahead.
We're back live again. Yeah, I don't know. My Explorer shut down and OBS shut down at the exact same time. And that was really weird. I don't know what it was doing there, but but yeah, that was really odd. I don't know. I've been having, like, I don't know, my computer is possessed or something, but yeah, it's I would like to see some more unique designs because they do look very similar to some Pokemon, and I'm kind of like, come on, you couldn't change it up just a little bit more? So
Krian, just tell me, because I didn't talk about the leveling system, the technologies, or anything. So if you want to do more Palworld, there's lots. So
I still need 5. How many videos? So I need 4 or 5 more videos. So we need to. But no, a quick move on. I should say, quick things is like, what do you guys think about? Let's divide this right between you and Antoine, Adam. So we'll go Antoine first. Antoine, what do you think about the player levels on Steam? We talked about that earlier, right? Down from 1.8 million to 800,000 people. I do think the developer can maintain player interest, right? That's a big problem with like Valheim, with other survival games. They start off amazingly hot and wonderful, and people are like, oh my God, I love this. And they play it like crazy, and then it just goes off a cliff. And then the updates slowly come out. Valheim's still like version 2, 0.3 after all these years, right? It's terrible. And then the question for you, Adam, is on that plagiarism stuff. one of Nintendo's former lawyers were like, yes, this is definitely plagiarism, and if I was still working at Nintendo, we'd be going after them. I mean, is this game going to die because of legal issues or regulations, or is Nintendo going to leave it because it is that popular? Not to mention Microsoft, Game Pass as well. So we'll go Antoine first. 3 minutes.
Are living on the edge. They're going to have some legal issues at some point. For Valheim, yes, it's an early access. It's a highly anticipated game. Of course, everybody's going to play, and then it's going to go down the trends. That's okay. That's normal. They just need to make sure they don't do Valheim and stay in early access for 3 years, right? They need content. They need a clear roadmap. And as long as they can do, I don't know, Final Fantasy or whatever live service, major update every 3 months, or keep the communication going, that's all they need, right? They're going to lose people, but as long as they are methodic on this, it's gonna be good, and they will get all the people they lost. They're gonna get it at the official launch.
Adam?
Yeah, on that front, real quick. Yeah, they're gonna have to stay on top of it. The company has a habit of kind of creating games and then abandoning them. This is the same company that did Craft World. And now some of the Craft World fans are kind of like, well, great. Now this game is never going to get finished because it's not Palworld. And then like the other game that I play, Frozen Flame, they haven't had an update since September. And so just recently in one of the forums, one of the developers kind of came in and just made a comment like, hey guys, we're still here. And people are like, well, thank God, we thought you'd abandoned the game. We haven't heard from you in months. So they do need to be on top of it if they want to be successful. As far as the plagiarism things go, I think it's kind of I think it's kind of an interesting thing. I don't think Nintendo's necessarily going to push anything unless they know 100% they can win. Because I think from Nintendo's perspective, if they do this and they don't win, that's going to open up floodgates because that's going to set a precedent, and that's going to open up floodgates for a lot of people pushing for a lot more of these kind of asset swaps and whatnot, especially with AI being able to take ideas, because a lot of these things are developed with AI. So I think Nintendo, if they 100% feel that there is no chance they can lose and they will 100% win, I think they might go for it. But if there is even the smallest chance that they might lose, I think they might just say, you know what, it's better just to let this one slide. Because otherwise, yeah, if we do lose, it's going to be that much harder for us in the future to make a case. So,
and on the other hand, also keep Pokemon very fresh in everybody's mind, because you're playing Palworld. But even when I was talking about it, I was talking about Pokemon, Pokeballs, and stuff like this, right? So it's also a good advertisement for Nintendo.
Oh yeah,
as well, I think. So, they can keep it like this.
Yeah, everyone keeps calling it, Nintendo, what was it? Pokemon with guns. So it keeps Pokemon in the social discourse.
When I was researching it, right, that was the thing that was trending, 70% up on Google Trends worldwide, Pokemon, Nintendo, Pokemon, that sort of stuff. And do you see there's already a mod with putting Ash and Pikachu in Palworld?
And that mod has been taken down. For that exact reason,
like, Nintendo has come for me.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Potentially, we will see a script written by Antoine and voiceover by Adam at some point in the future, if Antoine has time, given things. But we'll see. But let's move on. We still got to capture 4 more videos. And then, what is your first story?
So my first story is that PlayStation recently had some leaks. Now, I don't know how authentic they are. They did come from 4chan, so take it all with a grain of salt. But then they were again posted on Reddit, and these leaks are for the upcoming games that are coming to PC. So if you're a fan of the PlayStation games, but you don't have a PlayStation, or you would just rather play them on PC because you can have your custom rig and jack it up as much as you want, assuming your CPU is not overheating. So anyway, the games that were leaked are Demon Souls, Ghosts of Tsushima, Tsushima, finally, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and The Last of Us Part 2. So the rumors claim that these will all be released on PC at some point this year. So we can look forward to these between now and December. If this leak is true, it also claims that the reason Demon's Souls and Ghost of Tsushima specifically have taken so long is because their respective development teams are inexperienced with making PC ports, which makes a lot of sense because, as we've seen in the past, PlayStation making PC ports typically doesn't work that well out the gate. They do come out pretty buggy. But then if they get somebody else to do it, like who are they getting to do the Horizon Forbidden West? What company was that? Do you remember? Green? He doesn't remember. Okay.
Guerrilla?
No, not Guerrilla. They're outsourcing it to do the port. So the port is being outsourced.
Nixus?
Yeah, Nixus. Okay, yeah. So they're getting somebody else to do the port. So, if they do that, it typically works out pretty well. If they do it in-house, it typically has problems. And apparently the Demon's Souls and the Ghost of Tsushima people are doing it themselves. And so because of that, they don't have experience with this. And that's making it take a little bit longer. So hopefully that taking a little bit longer is a sign that it is going to be well done and not a sign that they have no clue what they're doing. So yeah, that's my news on that front. Nice and sweet and short.
Wonderful. And you, I remember when you talked about Ghost of Tsushima in one of the videos we did last week or last week, someone pointed out that Ghost of Tsushima would be coming out in that video, and lo and behold, the leak also somewhat confirms what one of our viewers said. So that's exciting. And Nixus as well is like, again, going back to the same video, we had another user comment, like they are very famous. They did Spider-Man Remastered on the PC. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And that game, I think I told you guys, I tried that out and it was wonderful, ran absolutely smoothly, looked cool. With my 10-year-old Xbox wired controller was no problem, except for the fact that I couldn't remember where all the buttons were. Beyond that, it was a great game. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Adam, why do you think there are so many games coming out so fast? Like usually there's like 1 or 2 PlayStation ports a year. I mean, from what you said, this sounds like 6-7 games coming out this year being ported.
Well, in the case of Ghost of Tsushima and Demon's Souls, it's probably because they've been in development for so long that they were just like, let's do it when it's ready, and they're assuming it'll be ready this year. So those two have probably been in the pipeline. Other ones probably just, it's the timing of it. God of War Ragnarok, I think they want to get out quickly because, oh no, I lost him again. What is happening? Oh, well, we still seem to be live, so hang on. Let me refresh my page here. There we go. Is this a me issue or a Squadcast issue? Let's find out. There we go. That's how it kicked me out of Squadcast. I don't know why. I don't know if that was a Squadcast issue or what, because it just kicked me out of Squadcast. But to answer your question, I think for like God of War, it's one of those things where like it's relatively new, it's relatively relevant. I feel like, on these bigger titles, they want to get them out on PC sooner rather than later. Gran Turismo, I think, is one of those things where it's kind of similar, where they're like, we want to get this out as soon as we can. But then some of the other ones have just been in development. So it's probably just kind of like a combination of things that have been in development for a long time versus things they're rushing, and they all kind of eventually coincide and all kind of release around the same time. Or it could just be wishful thinking as a leak. Who knows? That's a possibility too.
I totally agree. So we'll have to see what happens later this year. And let's keep going, looking at the time. So my first story today, I want to get the negative news away. Oh God, I can't speak English again. I want to get negative news done first. So this is from videogameschronicle.com, which is a publication I've not heard of, but they talk about games industry leader predicts 2024 will be the year of closures. There are just too many unprofitable businesses in video games. Again, the week before, right, check out Adam's video talking about Twitch, which for us sort of middle-aged gamers, right, I always thought Twitch was a profitable business, but apparently it's not. And despite being owned by Amazon, right, which is, $1 trillion, king in the world, Twitch has never made money. And of course, that's why it makes sense that they laid off people. But Apparently, there's a website, videogameslayoffs.com. They estimate 10,500 people lost their jobs last year. And already in 2024, there are 3,000 planned layoffs. So if you've been following the news, right, a lot of companies wanted to keep laying off people last year, but they were like, okay, we can't keep laying off people, so we're going to save some for this year. And some of the weird logic that I read online. Places from Microsoft to Google. Google, you've probably already heard, because they fired a bunch of teachers. They closed down a school, I guess, in their California campus. They're letting go of all the hardware teams, right? The people who are making Google Assistant on your phone, the Google Assistant devices. So, of course, Amazon's done the same thing with Amazon Alexa, right? Because now the future is no longer this kind of AI. It's the Bard, it's the ChatGPT. And this is really interesting to me, because I feel like since Kickstarter came about, this trend has accelerated where gaming is becoming more small studio based, right? Like going back to Antoine and I play more indies, I think, than Adam does for the most part. But it becomes down to where one person, two people, three people, 5 people, 20 people are making games, and they can make games profitably. They can pay themselves a salary. They can run things on Kickstarter. There's a strategy game now on Kickstarter called Stormgate, made by the guys who made Frostpunk 1, Frostpunk 2. They're running, you say, oh my God, these guys make tons of money, right? Or My Time at Soundrock, Pathir Games out in China. My Time at Porsche sold well. Why did they do another Kickstarter? Because again, it's such a good business model that you're not putting out like $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in cash, or taking a bet. And then 3 years later, when your game comes out, that, oh my God, did this sell well? Oh, it did. Yes. Did this sell? Oh no. Okay. What am I going to do about that $3 million? So this is a problem. And I think I want to get you guys thoughts on this, right? Is that the trend going forward is, and people have said this before, this is not new, but I think this is really going to accelerate faster with AI, with the way work is changing, with remote work, hybrid work, whatever you want to call it, is that it's going to be smaller gaming studios producing the things that we play more often. Let's go, Antoine, first.
Well, there's two things. So first of all, regarding the studios, if I'm asking you, next thing you're going to see in cinema, will you go watch the next Marvel movies? Will you? Okay.
I don't know why we are not getting video here. It is not reconnecting. Today is not a good day for streaming. Let me just fix these videos in here while I'm at it. There we go. Video's fixed. All right. Why is this so slow? Hang on. Let's see if this works. I don't know why, but I cannot reconnect. I am live, but I cannot reconnect to everybody else. Why is that? Let's go. Shut that down. Check this down. So this is fun. Everybody gets to see all the processes that I have to go through to make sure that our stream is up and running at all times. And sometimes it just doesn't straight up work. Come on. Let me close down this entirely. All right. I'm going to try again. Here we go. Squadcast is not connecting. Always a good sign. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to reset my computer, and I will be right back. See you guys soon.